Antarctica is the fifth largest continent on our planet, covering more than 14 million square kilometers. At the same time, it is the least explored and the most mysterious of all 7 continents. For many years, scientists have wondered what secrets this continent might be hiding from us. Hello, you're watching the NSK show, and this is Antarctica, the 5 most mysterious cases. Mysterious objects in Google Earth. Recently, researchers using Google Earth maps have been particularly attracted to Antarctica, where the ice is melting rapidly, revealing amazing things, such as mysterious bases, structures, and debris. If you request certain coordinates in Google Earth, you can find an extremely intriguing object on the territory of Antarctica. It looks like a large spotlight from which a thick but short beam of white light is emitted. With maximum zoom, you can even see that the object has something like petals, like a flower, which are unfolded. The object itself is small, but maybe this is just the part that emerges from under the ice, and everything else is hidden below. Another mysterious object was discovered by an American ufologist. A huge UFO crashed into a rock in Antarctica. The aircraft has clear shapes, and some details of the hull are visible. Since it is covered by a rock from above, it seems to have crashed a very long time ago. Moreover, the author found something resembling the entrance to a bunker. The entrance is approximately 27-30 meters in size. The dimensions of the aircraft are indeed striking. Another interesting find was made by a different user. As a result of the ice melting in Antarctica, a road resembling an asphalt one and about 800 meters long appeared on the maps. Moreover, on one side of this road, there clearly appears to be a bridge with an arch. All this, of course, is partially destroyed and eroded by centuries of ice. However, it is simply impossible not to realize, even by these remaining now thawed fragments, that a highly advanced civilization once existed on the coldest continent of our planet. Another satellite photo revealed a mysterious structure in Antarctica, a gigantic staircase leading to the top of a mountain. Scientists have been unable to explain the origin of this structure on the surface of the icy continent, and internet users' opinions are divided. Some are convinced that the presence of the staircase is evidence of the lost city of Atlantis. Others speculate that the site serves as a base for UFO ships, with the staircase being ventilation shafts for a huge underground colony. Unfortunately, Google Earth and its maps cannot serve as evidence for such discoveries. One would need to visit the site, such as the staircase or the paved road, in person. However, doing so in Antarctica is difficult for many reasons, even for globally renowned scientists, let alone enthusiasts of today's virtual world. Did Hitler die in Antarctica? In the late 1940s, Stalin was allegedly presented with American intelligence data suggesting that Adolf Hitler was alive and hiding at a secret Nazi base in Antarctica. Both Soviet and Western intelligence completely missed the creation of this base, consisting of 2 settlements in Antarctica. Starting in 1938, the German Navy regularly embarked on expeditions to Antarctica. According to a German scientific theory, which the Nazi leadership adhered to, the Earth is hollow inside. It was in the region of Antarctica that entrances to giant underground cavities with warm air were located. The Germans, exploring Antarctica, called the underground caves a paradise. From 1940, by Hitler's personal directive, the construction of 2 underground bases on Queen Maud Land began. From 1942, future residents, scientists and specialists of the SS's Ahnenerbe Research Center started being transferred to Antarctica. Later, the leadership of the Nazi Party and state were also evacuated there. The construction of the secret settlements was carried out by prisoners of war. Fresh forces were regularly supplied to replace those who were no longer able to work. According to American intelligence, by the end of 1944, the Nazis had deployed 5 V-2 ballistic missiles on combat duty in Queen Maud Land. According to Nazi records, Adolf Hitler died at the base in Antarctica in 1971. Other sources claim he lived until 1982. Hitler only once made a trip to the mainland, to the town of Heliopolis in the suburbs of Cairo. In 1953, he had a meeting with Martin Bormann and his personal pilot, Hans Bauer. Over time, interest in the icy continent temporarily faded. This was associated with the fact that all the old Nazis had died, and the new ones, according to rumors, did not want to live there. According to some reports, New Swabia, as the base in Antarctica was called, was destroyed by the Nazis themselves. According to others, Americans established a nuclear submarine base in its place. But all this is rumors and speculation. Mysterious fish. One morning, the crew of the research vessel Olaf discovered that the desalination unit was not working. A pipe was clogged. Attempts to repair the water supply from the surface were unsuccessful. The scarce water reserves were rapidly diminishing, and the decision was made to descend under the ice and continue repair work there. Wearing a super-resistant hydro suit, one crew member was sent down on a rope beneath the 20-meter-thick ice shelf. The breakage was discovered almost immediately. A huge clump of white fur was stuck in the filter. It was unbelievable. According to the crew, no polar bears approached them. Besides, how could they dive to such depths? Even theoretically, it was impossible. A week later, the breakdown recurred, and another scientist, Jerry Newman from the University of Oklahoma, climbed into the well. Time passed, but no signals came from under the ice. Since the oxygen reserves in the tank were limited, the crew sounded the alarm. With each passing minute, the chances of rescuing the scientist dwindled. What happened next? The team tried to remember as rarely as possible. A professional diver sent to help found a rope that had been chewed through. Newman vanished without a trace. The team spent the entire evening in contemplation. The version with unknown creatures that could have attacked the scientist and killed him no longer seemed funny to them. By morning, they decided to inspect the desalination unit again. In particular, the left sleeve of the pipe, which no one had looked into before. To their surprise, they found several live fish with extremely sharp teeth. But the most astonishing thing was that the fish were covered in fur. At first, they even thought that the unknown species might be something between a fish and a mammal. A week later, the military arrived at the station. The expedition was urgently terminated, and the scientists were sent home. Allegedly, nothing has been heard about the fate of the station since then. Admiral Byrd's expedition. On February 1st, 1947, an expedition led by Rear Admiral Richard Byrd landed in Antarctica, in the region of Queen Maud Land, and began studying the adjacent territory near the ocean. The research was scheduled for 6 to 8 months, but by the end of February, all work was suddenly halted, and the expedition urgently returned to the USA. The idea of such a military naval expedition was born in the fall of 1945. Guides from the crews of several Argentine submarines reportedly informed American intelligence agencies that before the end of World War II, they allegedly made special trips to supply a certain Nazi base in Antarctica. The Americans took this information seriously. They decided to send an entire fleet in search of the mysterious base, headed by the most experienced polar explorer at that time, Admiral Richard Byrd. The U.S. Navy allocated significant forces for this purpose: an aircraft carrier, 13 cruisers and destroyers, a submarine, an icebreaker, more than 20 planes and helicopters, and a total of about 5,000 personnel. Within a month, the expedition members managed to take about 50,000 photographs, map several previously unknown mountain plateaus, and establish a new polar station. One of the destroyers conducted a training shelling on a cluster of ice floes with torpedoes. And suddenly, the Americans claimed they were attacked by devices resembling flying saucers. Byrd radioed that after a short battle, the unknown enemy sent envoys. One of them, speaking broken English, demanded that the Americans leave the area within a couple of hours. Byrd rejected these demands. Then the envoys retreated towards a snowy ridge and seemed to vanish into thin air. An hour or two later, enemy artillery struck the cruisers and destroyers. By the end of this tragic day, 400 people had perished, and about 20 planes and helicopters had been shot down. The losses would have been even greater, but nightfall intervened. Admiral Byrd, under those circumstances, made the only right decision: to terminate the operation and have all the fleets return home. When the American fleet finally reached their shores and the command was informed about the fate of the expedition, all its participants, officers, and sailors were isolated. Byrd was retired and, moreover, declared insane. In his final years, Admiral Byrd lived practically under house arrest, not communicating with anyone, unable to even meet with former colleagues. To this day, little is known for certain about Admiral Byrd's expedition. Information about the stay of military and scientists in the Queen Maud Land region in early 1947 is largely classified. That's all for today. Don't forget to like this video and of course, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.